What's going on, guys? Cam here. I wanted to give you a very thorough recap of our really fun snowmobile trip we took last March. A couple buddies I knew, a couple buddies I've never met before, but we had a just really killer time. And yeah, just wanted to take you through it. Started off on Sunday, got the supplies, got the essentials only. About 3-hour drive from Frisco down southwest to Pagosa Springs area. You know, got to get those classic B-roll road trip shots, the time lapse, the hyperlapse, out the window, rear facing, mountain shot, classic. Quick little stop for pizza, nice little spot in Del Norte. Then went to our rental place for the first night of 2 nights. Unloaded, people started showing up. We had Zach Tozier, Pat Holleran, TJ's the guy I rode up here with. Collin came out from the East Coast. We don't see Ryan yet, or Soren, or Tanner. There's Pat Shepeard, the guy in charge of the trip, team leader. Got us all together, organized everything. And of course, you can't start sledding. You've got to immediately do work on your sled to make it work before you can head out there. So, a couple small things. Clutch spring that Ryan noticed was loose. Easy replacement. And then a couple other small tweaks and body panel stuff, but pretty straightforward. A lot of torque on that one, but it took care of it.
It probably won't be off because the spring
Yeah, just hanging out. Went to dinner, a nice little place called Mountain Pizza and Tap Room in South Fork. Big table, good pizza, good beer, tons of beers on tap. Monday starts off with a classic breakfast scene. Everyone kind of took turns making a breakfast or dinner, just switched off, all pitched in on food, made it pretty easy. Got to get the fuel up shots. That awesome montage of us just getting fueled up for the first day of riding. And then a quick unload at the trailhead. We are somewhere on Wolf Creek Pass, I believe. I think the middle spot, they called it, not the summit, but somewhere on the east side, I guess. Getting all ready, starting off strong with a little jump into the spot. Traversed for a good ways, kind of warm that first day. Had to stop and cool down the tunnels, but once we got there, it was a ton of fun to explore. Tozier had a big fuel line problem with his timber sled, unfortunately. Pat was helping out most of the day. They ripped up there at the very beginning of the day, and I never saw them until the end of the day. They finally got it fixed by, I think they stretched out a rubber hose and made it longer so it would fit, and used that as the fuel line and kind of MacGyvered it to the nth degree, but they got it down, so that was awesome to see. Yeah, just a ton of good riding. New zone for me, so I took it pretty easy, but hard to go wrong. Lots of fun hill climb pulls and places to explore, and tons of places to get stuck too. But yeah, you live and learn. Little repairs at night. Pat was working on something, since he was working on his sled, I took over his chili. I think he actually put some elk in here that he killed the previous year. So we divvied that up and passed out pretty quick, and then got ready for day 2. All right, the stoke factor is high on Tuesday. We are leaving the Airbnb and headed to Sheepshead cabin, big snowmobiler's cabin in the backcountry. Yeah, Tuesday's the good day. We're gonna pack up, head out, drive down the road. Not too bad of a drive when this road is open. When this road's not open, you have to sled this, and it adds, I don't know, 12 or 15 or 18 miles or something. So we caught it about a week after it opened. I guess they're doing some mining or something, so that someone else, some company plows it. Quick unload at the trailhead, get all the gear cinched up. We had to make a couple trips, but that's not too bad. We see the other guys checking out of the cabin. They're cleaning up for us. Left it great. Highly recommend the cabin, by the way. And then we just start riding. We try to go get a quick little session in right when we get there. All of our stuff's still laying outside by the cabin, but we're just riding around. Do a quick little lunch in the cabin and then come back out and ride some more. And Pat crushed it with this. This was a blast to film. Love that slow motion on that GoPro though. Oh, it makes it look so cool. These guys brought plenty of firepower for the trip, and it was a blast just shooting, watching him shoot, and even filming him shoot in super slow-mo. I think it's 240 frames per second, and just seeing that clay explode was really fun. Gave Soren a little bit of help when I saw him stuck. He went over that little wind lip, didn't see it, and kind of took a nosedive into the pit there. Dug him out pretty easy. But then I had a pretty good stuck. I was trying to follow my buddy TJ, and you can see, hesitated, looked at my line. I could go left and go down that way, or I could follow his line through this little split, and just didn't look where I wanted to go. Got the brake lever pinched right there and just couldn't wiggle it out. I needed to come in more wide and it was too tight. So I got Tanner and Pat to come over and help out pretty quick. This whole group is really good about helping out and not letting you get stuck for too long. This is a good finesse one. We had to get out of this first hole and then also down and around these trees. Pat's helping me out, trying to inch this thing forward and just get that track set so it doesn't slide down the hill to the far side. Just trying to inch it forward and didn't quite make that left turn. Got pinched up against that tree, and I'm about 6'2" and standing up next to the sled, so it was deep in those tree wells, but finally got her out and let her rip.
Might do it, dude.
Then we went to go check out our cabin. Sheepshead recently built a new addition to their place, and me, Tanner, and TJ stayed in this little hut here. Yeah, nice little addition. Upper story had, I think, 4 or 5, 6 beds or something in the little deck, and downstairs was the kitchen where Tanner stayed, and then fireplace. TJ's rocking the Crocs as usual. He thinks it's no big deal. not even in sport mode. Head back over to the cabin. Tozier was up cooking dinner for the first night, so he made some really good chicken, and then we had just the best sunset you've seen in a while. Almost zero color correction going on. We just got super lucky with that sunset. Same as the night before, early to bed, early to rise. I'm just gonna let this sequence play out. It might be a little bit long for some or most people, but there's some cool, I think there's some cool cinematic FPV flying and some decent scenic shots in here, so enjoy. One other big mechanical issue, unfortunately. Well, not big, simple, but unfortunate. Tozier's battery had died. He actually bought this timber sled on the way up to this trip from Denver, so we hadn't really given it a super thorough once over, but we just think it finally died after sitting for 6, 8, 12 months. They sent me back to the truck on my buddy's timber sled to try it out, to get some supplies, and that was kind of a blast. I don't know if I'd take it over the snowmobile, but you know, if we could have both, that'd be nice, but it does feel very capable and nimble in the trees and very lightweight. The goal was to tow Zach back to the trailhead where the trucks were, get him into town, look for a new battery. We tied up to the ski, which was a terrible idea.
Take two.
At first. Take two, we tied it to the subframe, and that let him steer, which was essential for towing him back. This was a pretty wild sequence of clips too, and we were just pumped to make it back. It was a hard-fought battle, but Ryan, Pat, everyone helping out with the jump start. Even with that nice strong truck battery, the KTM still wouldn't turn over, wouldn't even push the starter motor. So we thought it'd be best to piggyback and get Zach back to the cabin. We could do some research from there and see if there was a battery in town, make some phone calls. So loaded back up and did the, 3-mile ride back to the cabin. Pat and Zach were double up, and they made it work. Sled got a little bit hot, but a couple stops to cool it off and back in no time. TJ had to do a little bit of impromptu Yingling repairs to cover some of his more essential parts in the bike. Then we went back to our place, made a little fire, set up the time lapse, and let it roll. This this was the big firework night. We had an absolute blast shooting off fireworks, shooting some guns. Really cool sequence. Hope y'all enjoy. Wednesday was probably the best riding day we had. Just think we had all the kinks worked out. Everybody was kind of in sync and on the same page, and we actually had a specific mission in mind this day too, to head to a specific zone that someone told us about. So it was cool to kind of rally the troops and get everyone together for one shared objective. So that was a pretty fun time too. Before we got there, we were just playing around, and we actually got the drone out a little bit too, but I mean, tons of hill climbs along the way, great weather. The snow had really good traction too. Being that we were out here in May, it was pretty much ideal for what you want. We got super lucky with that. A little bit of fresh snow the first day, and that was awesome, but yeah, just tons of traction. You could really put the sled wherever you wanted. Some of my best days out here, honestly, in terms of my own riding. This is my third year riding the sled, or riding sleds at all, and it's been a ton of fun. I feel like I'm learning a lot riding with people who are really good, but this was one of my toughest lines for sure. It doesn't look like much, it never does in the GoPro, but I followed TJ around and we hit some really steep stuff. Even got the drone out for a little bit and did some aerial stuff. And yeah, dude. And even got the GH5 and the tripod out for some super slow-mo timber sled shots. Well, we were having a pretty good day, and then Tanner noticed the sled was riding kind of funny, so he checked it out and showed me this big old double crack in his frame. So that was a bummer for him, but we limped him home. TJ and I had another really good run, probably my best run from the trip, honestly, and it was really memorable, super tough, a few spicy sections underneath trees, and getting the sled really sideways and really committing to lines that I didn't necessarily want to do, but really fun stuff. So rewarding to get to the top. the top and just see that sunlight coming through, and you can see the peak and the top of the hill. And we could and should have done a little bit more avalanche prep probably, just checking out conditions and slope angle, but being in the trees we felt pretty safe. But man, it was rewarding to get up there for sure. Super fun. Again, great conditions, fresh snow, good temperatures, sticky traction. It's so hard to plan for those good conditions, but if you get lucky and get the right conditions with the sunshine, the fresh snow, the warm temps, it's pretty awesome. But of course, what goes up has to come down, and following this track, I wanted to make sure I didn't get lost, but it was definitely pretty sideways getting this thing down there, but a fun challenge for sure. Just don't let it fall to the downhill side. And then we had a little more fun with one of the targets on site. A destroyed RV got one more hit from us, so fun to shoot that in slow motion, pun intended. And then Pat Shepeard actually cooked some steaks on the wood stove for us, so a great end to a great trip. All right, final day. Basically just pack up, grab some of those awesome B-roll shots and hit the road. Again, I'd say we had a great time. We wish we could have had the cabin for 4 nights, but it definitely sells out quickly, so get on that if you're looking to make reservations.
Good.
Really great time all around, Pagosa Springs, Wolf Creek, all that stuff, just a ton of fun. Highly recommend it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
All the way from the road. All the way from the road. Screwball and chocolate milk is like chocolate milk.